Hey, Chidori. Oh yeah, here's where we were. It's coming back to me. Right. We were talking about Kinzo. In this fifth game, his body hasn't even appeared. Under these circumstances, it wouldn't be easy to prove his death conclusively. Alright. If Kinzo's death could be confirmed, it would practically erase that defeat in the study. This boring moment. I bet. Yeah, I was about to say that basically we had argued about Kinzo being alive and jumping out of the study, and now we're kind of contradicting that. Anyway. Ah, yeah, okay. It's It was the only way Erika had of negating the humiliation of her loss. And there was something that could confirm Kinzo's death almost as certainly as real proof. And that was the confession of the culprit. Huh? Screw the truth, Erika's gotta win. She would have Natsuhi herself admit that Kinzo no longer existed in this world. That way, it would be acknowledged that Erika's reasoning in the study was correct. That loss would be painted over, and it would be rewritten as Erika's victory. Ay. Battler hung suspended by Delanor's red longsword. Yeah. Beto had disappeared by having her existence denied, and her minions had gone too. Now that they had disappeared from this cathedral, only Natsuhi and the witches convicting her remained.
あくまでも金蔵は生きてて島のどこかに残っていると言い張るのね。
Yeah, Zeku. All the tears for Battler.
そうです。お父様はご健在でおられます。誰が何と言おうと、私はそれを翻します。
過去のゲームの赤き真実で、金蔵がすでに死亡していることは確定してるわ。でもそれじゃあ、ベルンの気が収まらないわけでしょ？
It's against Nox's something, right?
ええ、そうよ。完璧な勝利を私は求めてるの。だから赤で金蔵の死が決まってるから、それでチェックメイトなんて面白くないの。夏日の口からリザインと言わせて勝利したいのよ。
Yeah, these witches.
ならやってごらんなさいよ。お手並みを拝見させてもらうわ。我が主、今こそ我らに完全なる勝利を。
無論よ。夏日、あなたは金蔵は間違いなく生きているけれど、その所在はわからないというのね。ええ、そうです。お父様は窓よりお出になられて行方知れず、全く困った方です。ラムダ、金蔵の24時から朝までの所在について確実にするわ。金蔵は24時から朝までずっと同じ部屋に滞在したわ。
そりゃそうでしょ、死体なんだから。いや、ごめん。そうよね。そうでしょうね。口を挟まないわ。面白そうだから続けてちょうだい。
これより金蔵という言葉を生きている金蔵という意味で使うわ。何しろ夏日は生きていると主張するのだから、続けて赤き真実を語るわ。金蔵は屋敷以外の場所には存在しない。そうよね、エリカ。
はい、我が主。金蔵の姿を探し、屋敷の外
敷地内をくまなく捜索しました。しかし金蔵は発見できませんでした。
Because of the detective's authority, Erika could find all clues. Oh my god. Therefore, if Erika was unable to find a hint that Kinzo existed outside the mansion, it was the same as proving that Kinzo didn't exist outside the mansion. Therefore, Burncastle repeated that truth of Erika's.
金蔵は屋敷以外の場所に存在しない。ねえ、夏日。なら、金蔵が存在するなら、屋敷内のどこかにいることになるわ。どこに金蔵が隠れているのか、心当たりがあったら教えてくれない？
Your recognition honors.
Oh,
わかりかねます。
thank you for the sub, Dizzo. I guess we will see.
何しろこの定期です。
Hey Squid, morning.
中庭へ出られた後、お屋敷のどこかへ隠れ、雨をしのがれていたとしても何も不思議はありません。私はこれからも同じ質問を数度繰り返すわ。あなたに名誉ある幸福の機会を数度与える。痩せ我慢が過ぎると本当の名誉まで失うことになるわよ。いかなる脅しにも私が屈することはありません。あなたは本当にいじめがいのある駒だわ。では続けるわよ。以上の理由から金蔵さんが屋敷以外の場所にいることは考えられません。そこでまず書斎のあった3階を徹底的に捜索しました。
だがどこにも隠れる場所はなかった。
How did she do all of these things? All of it. Extensive search. How long does that take? How did she fit everything in one day and a little bit? Like, what?
3階に親父の姿は影も形もない。
ではどこにいるんでしょう、夏日。
知りません。3階にいないなら地下にでも隠れたのではありませんか？
ええ、地下ですね。ボイラー室、地下倉庫など怪しげな地下も全て捜索させていただきました。
ええ、私も探したわ。お父様の姿なんてどこにもなかった。
繰り返します。金蔵さんはどこにいるんですか、夏日さん。
なら1階か2階にでもいたのでしょう。
そうですね。消去法で行くならそうなります。そして1階を徹底的に捜索しました。結果は？
いいえ、お父様の姿を見つけることはできなかったわ。
繰り返します。金蔵さんはどこにいたんですか、夏日さん。
She's getting on my nerves.
では2階に隠れていたのでしょう。お父様が隠れている場所を私が知るわけないでしょう。
本当にそうでしょうか。夏日さんは金蔵さんがどこに隠れていたのか本当はご存知なんじゃないですか。
奥様が、親方様がどこに隠れていたのかご存知？
そんなことあるはずありません。
Both Shannon and Kanon knew that Kinzo was no longer alive, so they didn't have a clue how Erika was planning to corner Natsuhi. Hey Viberum, how are you? Using a phantom of a person who didn't exist.
屋敷以外の場所に金蔵はいない。3階に金蔵はいない。地下に金蔵はいない。1階に金蔵はいない。以上から金蔵が存在しうる余地の検討は2階だけとなるわ。
I'm sorry, Bear.
赤き真実を認めるわ。夏日、金蔵は2階のどこかにいるはず。まだどこに隠れてるか教えてくれないの？
何度聞かれても答えられないものは答えられません。エリカ、それでは端から順に2階の全てを捜索していきなさい。全ての手がかりを絶対に見落とさず、いかなる隠し扉も隠し部屋も看破できる探偵権限で。
はい、我が主。夏日さんって結構頭悪い方ですよね。
あ
まだ話の落としどころ見えないんですか？
余計なことは言わなくていいわ。さあエリカ、全員を引き連れて捜索を始めなさい。
Erika used her detective's authority to take everyone, even Natsuhi, up to the second floor to search every room, starting at one end. Even for rooms that were thought to have nothing at all to do with the crime, Erika did not relax her search in the slightest. Her search was thorough in every single room as they moved through them all.
まだ金蔵さんはどこに隠れているか教えてくださらないのですか？
いい加減になさい。私は知らないと何度口にすればいいのですか？
夏日さん、このまま調べていってもきっと金蔵さんは見つかりませんよね。
Of course not. Kinzo doesn't exist. No matter how long this search continues, it's just a waste of time. This was known by both Erika, who was the witch's piece, and Natsuhi, the one who knew the truth. Yeah, it's a good question, Zeku.
となると、捜索はあの廊下の突き当たりの部屋を最後とします。つまり、あの部屋を残して、すべての部屋に金蔵さんがいなかったことが証明されると、どうなると思います？
He isn't on the third floor, or the first floor, or the basement, and he isn't in any of the rooms on the second floor except possibly the one at the end. So if he really did exist inside the mansion, it had been proven that he could not be in any room except for that room at the end. In other words, this was Hempel's Raven. Because it had been established that a living Kinzo didn't exist anywhere except the final room at the end of the corridor, that automatically meant that the living Kinzo existed in that final room. Yeah. Not that I want to argue for the existence of Kinzo, but this isn't really that convincing to me of an argument, but okay. Just the way they're phrasing it and putting it together is just, eh. And that room at the end of the corridor was... I have no idea where they're going with this.
突き当たりの部屋って何の部屋だっけ？
Is it not her? I forget where her room is. Ugh, I don't know the layout of the house properly. Lambda Delta was munching on another refill of popcorn.
夏日の部屋です。
It's her
ラムダ
room,
デルタ
okay.
ちゃん。
Yeah, exactly, Super Pepper. You're saying it so much better. I'm feeling it. I'm not really that astute in articulating it, but yeah, there you go. That's exactly. That's exactly what bothers me. Yeah. Oh well.
つまり金蔵は夏日の部屋以外に隠れ場所はなかったということになるのよ。赤で言う必要ある？
もちろん。
夏日の部屋を除くすべての場所に金蔵は存在しない。
というわけで残すところはこの部屋だけとなりました。以上によりこの部屋以外に金蔵さんはいらっしゃらないことになりました。
ここは私の部屋ではありませんか。私の部屋のどこにお父様がいると。
In a rage, Natsuhi unlocked the door to her room and pointed inside. Of course, Kinzo was nowhere to be seen.
どこにお父様の姿があるというのです。ほら。
なるほど、いらっしゃられないようですね。私たちが来ることを察知してまた窓からお逃げにでもなったのでしょうか。
If Kinzo wasn't in this last room, it meant that he didn't exist anywhere. There is no living Kinzo outside the mansion. There is no living Kinzo inside the mansion. Therefore, no living Kinzo exists. However, Erika didn't make that argument. She had brought things to this point, but she didn't make it checkmate. It was because Burncastle didn't want to win by cornering Natsuhi with the red truth, but by forcing Natsuhi to admit to a humiliating resignation.
私がこれまで捜索してきたのは金蔵さんの姿だけではありません。金蔵さんが24時から朝まで隠れていたことを示す痕跡です。そしてそれも存在しませんでした。
つまり24時から朝までの間、金蔵はある一室にこもり続けたことになってて、そしてそれは夏日の部屋ということだわ。
赤き真実によるチェックメイトがと金蔵の幻という駒を夏日の部屋にまで追い詰めたということよ。
Okay. I know if I'm right.
ねえ夏日さん、つまりあなたは朝までこの部屋で金蔵さんとご一緒だったことになるわけです。それでもあなたは金蔵さんのことをご存じないとおっしゃられるのですか？
I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this, because the argument itself is stupid, but they definitely have a goal here.
私が赤き真実で認めるわ。24時から朝までの一晩、生きた金蔵は夏日の部屋を除く全ての場所に存在しない。その真実から夏日の部屋にしか存在しなかったと議論を進めることを許すわ。
司法取引ねえ夏日、頭の悪いあなたでももうそろそろまずいと気づいてきたんじゃない？これが最後のチャンスよ。金蔵を犯人にしなさい。後宮家当主を犯罪者とし、自らの保身のために当主の栄光を自らの手で打ち壊してみせなさい。あなたがその勇気を見せたら、あなたを当主をかばうために濡れ衣をかぶろうとした悲劇のヒロインに筋書きを変えてあげるわ。
I don't think she'll do any of that. Goal is very simple: humiliate Natsuhi further. Yeah, I guess so. On a broad level, yeah, but like, I'm not sure what concretely they're trying to do here.
お父様は無実です。お父様を犯罪者にすることなど私には断じてできません。
取引拒否。いいわベル。
Ay, ay, ay. All right.
やっちゃいなさい。
24時から朝までの一晩、生きた金蔵の存在する余地はあなたのベッドの中以外に存在しない。それはどういう意味ですか？
この部屋の徹底的な捜索および厳重な科学捜査の結果、この部屋の全域で24時から朝までの間、金蔵さんが存在しないという結果が出ました。た ただし
Hey, Benton.
あなたのベッドだけを除きます。
What? A shocked silence dominated the room. Natsuhi completely forgot to close her open mouth.
昨夜黄金発見の前後の頃、推定23時頃、3階窓より脱出した金蔵さんはあなたの部屋のベッドの中にかくまわれていたということです。
What?
そしてさらに気の毒な捜査結果ですが、あなたもこのベッドで就寝されていたことが判明しています。
重ねて復唱するわ。24時から朝までの人が生きた金蔵の存在する余地は夏日のベッドの中以外に存在しない。そして夏日も昨晩同じベッドで就寝したわ。
あら、仲良しさんたちね。二人で仲良く枕を分けっこして眠ったわけね。
I don't know, the music is stressing me out. Not to say it's bad. It's top tier music, like we've been accustomed with in Umineko, but man. I have such a weird feeling in my stomach. This is terrible. What?
青き真実以上から後宮夏日と後宮金蔵には上皇の可能性があったと推測できるわ。男女が同じ枕で一晩過ごして他に何を推測しろと。
無礼者！私が敬愛してやまないお父様となんて許せません。
夏日、青き真実には赤き真実で反論なさい。もちろん魔女でないあんたに使える赤はない。だから私が代わりに赤き真実で語ってあげてもいいわ。私を納得させられる証拠を示せるならね。
そんな証拠 あるわけがありません。私をどこまで愚弄するというのですか。おのれ
Natsuhi tried to attack Erika, but Eva pinned her arms behind her back, so she couldn't do anything.
なんという夏日さんは後宮家に復讐するためにまず後宮家の全てを乗っ取ろうと企てたのです。そのため夏日さんは体を武器に金蔵さんを籠絡したのです。
そんなことはしません。私は自分の体を夫以外に許したことはただの一度もありません。
否定されたい気持ちもわかりますが、あなたが金蔵さんと密会を重ねていたことはすでに複数の関係者からの証言で明らかです。だって昨晩だって金蔵さんの書斎で二人っきりでお休みのご挨拶をされてたんですものね。それどころか明らかな情報の痕跡の証言も複数得られています。
そんなバカな。誰です。誰がそんないい加減なことを。ゴーダシャノンエヴァさんでしょう。そんないい加減なことを言ったのはあなたでしょう。
Ay, ay, ay.
関係者証言を受領したわ。これは致命的ね。もう疑いようがないわ。
ねえ夏日、もうあんたの名誉なんてこれっぽっちもないわけだけど、最悪のかけらを紡がれる前に最後にもう一度だけチャンスをあげるわ。金蔵はいませんでしたって言っ。
そうよね。夏日、あんた強情だわ。もう後宮家なんてどうせボロボロじゃな。 そんなにも金蔵がいることにして遺産問題をうやむやにしたいの？
これは私がお父様に託された後宮家の名誉を守る最後の試練です。夫の事業は必ず結実します。それによって借金を返済するまで後宮家の家督を引き渡すわけにはいかないのです。お父様の名誉も夫の名誉も私が守ります。
Oh god. Oh god, the visuals of that. Jesus Christ. No.
私の使命なんです。
死者の名誉を守ろうとは見上げた根性だわ。
死者じゃないわ。夏日の頭の中の都合のいい妄想の名誉よ。本当の金蔵はその名誉を守れなんて一度たりとも夏日に命じたことなんてないんだから。
As Natsuhi screamed, she fell down to her hands and knees. She no longer had any way to reject the fake truth that Berncastle and Erika had weaved.
ゲームマスターラムダデルタの名において本ゲームの勝利者がベルンカステル教であることを認めるわ。意義ある者は名乗りを上げよ。
Well, there's nobody, because you basically silenced everyone. Yeah. Of course, there were none. All of those who might have objected had been erased. Yeah.
意義ある者なし。ベルン、あんたの勝ちよ。見事な勝ちっぷりだったわ。真相のかけらをあなたが紡ぎなさい。
ええ、それでは私が真相を紡ぐわ。
Weave the truth. Sure.
これがこの悲しく間抜けな物語の真相よ。本当は泣き笑いしながら罪を認めた夏日に自ら語ってほしかったんだけどね。
I'm glad she did not give you that satisfaction. I meant silenced. Maybe I didn't say it properly.
それがお約束なんでしょ。
Jeez. Why do I have to read this? And with this music in the background too. After being forced into an unwanted marriage, Natsuhi developed a grudge against the Ushiromiya family and was filled with the desire for revenge. As revenge for financially ruining her birth family, Natsuhi also plotted to take over the Ushiromiya family's fortune. When Natsuhi learned that the wealth of the Ushiromiya family was for all intents and purposes controlled by Kinzo himself, why do I have to read that? She initiated sexual relations to curry favor with him and managed to ensnare him. Wow. To curry favor with Kinzo, Natsuhi repeatedly disguised herself as Beatrice, a witch and figment of Kinzo's imagination, and engaged in sexual acts. Thank you. Repeating that. Kinzo saw Natsuhi dressed as the mistress from his past and was easily ensnared. Additionally, a servant happened to witness her in this outfit, forming part of the basis for the legend of the witch. However, late at night on October 4th, 1986, Ushiromiya Battler discovered the hidden gold. Natsuhi planned the crimes after the relatives raised a fuss and insisted that Battler should succeed the headship. She murdered the children in the cousin's room and tried to frame Battler for the crime. Furthermore, Genji was murdered because he was opposed to this scheme. Sure. I'm sure Natsuhi has the physical prowess to achieve this against Genji, yeah, for sure, for sure. Who needs questions with answers like this? Yeah, exactly. It certainly is an answer. Oh, those quotes, they couldn't... yeah. You gotta put quotes, otherwise it's not... It's not working. Oh, Lord. Later on, Hideyoshi was also murdered. After this point, Natsuhi displayed a strong intent to murder all those involved without discrimination. Natsuhi is a hired assassin from KGB. The concrete details of the crimes are as follows. Right. Midnight. Natsuhi decided to commit the crimes. Because Genji refused to assist her when asked, she murdered him. She then murdered her husband Kraus in his own room. And she did all this in that dress. Impressive. Yeah. True. Afterwards, she went to the cousin's room on the upper floor of the guest house, waited for Rosa to join the rest, and killed George, Jessica, Maria, and Rosa. She mutilated the necks of the bodies. Afterwards, because there were people in the downstairs lounge, she waited in an empty room upstairs. She hid in this empty room until the people in the lounge dispersed and went to bed. Well, yes, they spun that as I guess they tried to spin it as like because Natsuhi felt this entire hatred towards everything Ushiromiya, they were included, or something like that. It obviously makes no sense. The people in the lounge dispersed just after 3 AM. Yeah, and she thought of it on the spot. And managed to get the planets to align to sneak around and just execute it perfectly. Natsuhi left the empty room and escaped from the guest house. She returned to her room where she met up with Kinzo, who had been hiding there. They spent the rest of the night there together! Glorious. Kinzo left the room early next morning and concealed himself somewhere near the guest house. Afterwards, Kinzo saw his chance and carried off the bodies of the 6 victims one by one, hiding them. Unfortunately, these hidden bodies have not been found. Why would Kinzo be complicit? It was a murder against his family. Maybe he didn't care about them that much, but... it's just... yeah, I'm not gonna try to dissect it. It makes no sense. Anyway... Alright. He's ensnared, yeah. Yeah, I see what they're trying to achieve with that. It's just, to me, it makes no sense. Natsuhi, who had failed in her scheme to cast suspicion on Battler, changed her plan to include the murder of all present. Predicting that one of those present would eventually want to take a rest in a private room, Natsuhi concealed herself inside the closet in one of the guest rooms. When Hideyoshi visited that room at approximately 1 p.m., she murdered him. I understand, but then what? Beatrice reincarnated was like, oh, Kinzo, we need to murder your family. And Kinzo was like, yeah, sure, I totally agree with you. Wouldn't put it back to Kinzo. I would... I would want to believe that Kinzo is maybe a little bit cuckoo, but that doesn't make him stupid. He didn't get all of the success that he got in life by being stupid. So this kind of thing is just... nah. Right. I'm not saying that he didn't. But if he had... you know... if he had despised them to the point of wanting them dead, why would he have, like, I don't know. I don't know, it just doesn't fit. No matter how much he hated them, I don't think he would have gone to such lengths. So, regardless of how many, I wouldn't put it past Kinzo memes we can invoke, it just, in my mind, it doesn't work. Not even ensnared. This is what the truth looks like from someone without love. Alright. Anyway. Right, so Natsuhi once again concealed herself in the closet from the time the others became aware of the incident to the time that they carried out Hideyoshi's body. Furthermore, as proof of this, a button from Natsuhi's clothes was found in the closet. Afterwards, she exited the closet and tried to return to her own room. However, Furudo Erika discovered her on the way and Natsuhi confessed to her crimes after questioning. Okay, yeah, sure. We have never seen the real Kinzo, that is true, but we know, at least in broad strokes, quite a lot of things about his life. And I think the most impactful and most telling thing about his life is that he made a fortune out of nothing. You don't do that by being stupid. So I just... I don't have anything necessarily substantial to justify with to say like, okay, Kinzo is this or Kinzo is that, but just the sense of who this person potentially is that has developed within me all of this time is clashing very, very strongly with the possibility of these scenarios that they're weaving. That's all. That's where I'm coming from. Ah, okay, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. So many documents. Yeah, I guess so. Great court official notice, number, something. Trial of Illusions. Okay, decides as follows. Trial of Illusions, interesting name. Ushirumi and Natsuhi confessed to the crimes. No, she did not. For a period of 13 months following this announcement, related documents may be perused at the Great Court Legal Office's Document Management Center, first subsection. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm going. Because if he really hated his family so much, why did he have kids? Why did he then proceed to keep them around like Kraus and then invite them all to family conferences and stuff like that? If you despised people to the point of wanting them dead, why would you do all of that? You know? Umi pain, yes. Right. As though she had given up and decided that it would be useless to try and talk her way out of this any longer, Aunt Natsuhi said that and screamed. It was a sad incident. I wanted to believe that despite the pitiable circumstances which led to her marriage into the Ushiromiya family, Aunt Natsuhi had been able to find some small measure of happiness with Uncle Kraus and Jessica. But instead, by Aunt Natsuhi's own hand, Uncle Kraus and even her beloved daughter Jessica had been heartlessly killed. Who is the person narrating? Is this Battler? Please don't believe that. It was even harder to believe that grandfather had been an accomplice and hid the bodies. However, several people had given clear testimony that grandfather's mental state for these last few years had been far from what anyone would consider normal. Perhaps possessed by a mad devotion to the mistress he had lost long ago, grandfather might truly have believed that Aunt Natsuhi was a reincarnation of Beatrice. Where is grandfather now? Like Erika theorized, did he really believe that he could revive Beatrice by carrying out murders following the epitaph, and succumb to Natsuhi's cajolery? Right now, is he holding some kind of disturbing ritual with the bodies he carried away?
これで満足ですか？私にこう言わせたかったんでしょう。
Aunt Natsuhi sobbed as she spoke.
これがあなたの復讐なんでしょう。19年前の男。
This man from 19 years ago that Aunt Natsuhi kept mentioning was the man who had supposedly framed her. However, referring to a man from 19 years ago was as far as she would go, and she made no attempt at all to explain what had actually happened back then.
きっとこの中にあの男の手先が混じっているはずです。あの男はあなたたちの誰かを通じて今のこの私を嘲笑っているでしょう。なら伝えなさい。これで気は晴れましたか。19年間あなたを災難だ痛みと苦しみは少しは言えましたか。ようやく私をここまで追い詰めたのはそれを認めさせたかったからですね。
夏日さん、私たち以外に部外者は一切存在しません。意もしない人物がさも存在するように振る舞うなんて、往生際の悪い芝居はやめてください。
Okay, is that the novel calling itself out? Erika laughed mockingly, but as Natsuhi looked at us, no, as she looked at some being behind us, she hung her head and shook. Then she confessed to her sin.
私は
Yeah.
殺人を犯しました。
やっと直接的な言葉で罪を認めましたね。
いいえ、昨日今日の事件のことではありません。19年前の殺人について告白します。
The adults all whispered together, wondering what this was about, because they had never heard about a murder case 19 years ago.
私は罪を犯しました。許せなかったのです。その赤ん坊が。
赤ん坊？今さら何の話ですか
？19年前のあの日、私はお父様より一人の赤ん坊を託されました。いつまでも跡継ぎを身ごもることのできない私に、ならば養子を迎えよとお父様がおっしゃり、施設から連れてきたという一人の赤ん坊を私に抱かせたのです。
Oh, Squid. Oh, yeah, she's kind of being persecuted in this root episode, whatever you want to call it. It's yeah, it's painful.
それが私にどれほど女としての屈辱を与えたか想像がつきますか？
What a mix of conflicting emotions of anger, sadness, regret, and possibly defiance. With a mix. What am I saying? With a mix of all of this amazing emotional soup. Aunt Natsuhi confessed. The humiliation as a woman that others had given up hope on her ever bearing a child. And also the indescribably unpleasant feeling of being made to nurse a strange baby. It caused her great sadness and rage, and before very many nights passed, it ate a hole into her heart.
そして私は心を悪魔に売り渡したのです。あれは赤ん坊を抱かせた使用人と共にバラ庭園から船着き場の方へ散歩に行った時でした。私は一人になりたかったのです。赤ん坊を連れたその使用人の女は律儀に私の後について回りました。一人にしてくれとさえ言い出せず、だから赤ん坊の泣き声から逃れられず、その日より19年間私を苛む長き頭痛の日々の始まりにうめいていました。そして咲くより崖を望む遥か眼下の岩浜にこの赤ん坊を放り捨てることで全てなかったことにできれば、そんな悪魔の誘惑を私は確かに聞きました。そしてそれが本当にできたらどれほど素晴らしいかと、その誘惑にほんの一瞬、その時赤ん坊を抱いた使用人が大きな石を踏んで足をくじきよろめいた。
As one does when they're holding a child, they get close to the edge of a precipice with sharp rocks and stuff. Yes, because it's very safe.
そして粗末な柵に寄りかかり、その時柵が大きくきしんだ気がした。私は危ないと言いながら肩を掴もうとしました。いえ、そんな曖昧な言い方はしません。懺悔します。告白します。私はあの時確かに危ないと言いながらその使用人の肩を両手でドンと強く押し飛ばしたのです。粗末な柵は根元から折れ、使用人とその手に抱かれた赤ん坊と一緒に眼下の岩浜へ転落していきました。その瞬間のことを鮮明に覚えているのに、なのになぜか曖昧でとても不思議な気持ちだったのを覚えています。転落したというより、まるで何もない宙に二人が 音もなく飲み込まれて消えたようにさえ感じたのです。だから私は2人が岩浜に落下した音さえ聞いています。いえ、きっと聞いているのです。でも消えたと思い込みたかったから、その聞いた音をきっと記憶から消し去ってしまったのです。
それから
私は一瞬これが夢だと信じました。あの高さですから、ちょっと身を乗り出したくらいでは眼下の2人は見えません。だから2人が落ちたことさえ、ほんの数秒前のことさえ現実のことなのかわからなくて、
Okay.
きっと私はここから赤ん坊が落ちればいいのにと願いすぎて白昼夢を見てしまったに違いない。そう自らに思い込ませ、足早にバラ庭園に戻り、赤ん坊は使用人に任せ、私は一人ここで休んでいたことにしました。そしてお父様に赤ん坊はどうしたのかと問われ、任せた使用人の姿が見えないと騒ぎになって。
Eventually, the broken fence was discovered, and the 2 corpses were found at the bottom of the cliff. The baby's origins apparently couldn't be made known, so its existence was hushed up. And the official story was that the servant simply died in an accident alone.
そう、私は一度に2人もの罪なき命を、気の毒な使用人については遺族に十分なねぎらいをしました。真相を知らない老いた夫は不幸な事故を嘆きつつもそれに納得してくれました。そしてほんの数年前、老衰で亡くなり、私は墓前で真相を告白し、しかし私は今日まであの赤ん坊に謝罪したことはありません。そう、それがあなたの目的でしょう。だから私は今ここで罪を告白します。後宮夏日は19年前にあなたを崖から突き落として殺そうとしました。でもあなたは死んでいなかったのですね。こうして生きていて、それでも私を母さんと呼び、この島へ帰ってきて、こうして復讐をされたのですね。あなたはこの19年間、母と呼ぶはずだった私に突き落とされたことを知って、どれほどの憎悪の人生を送ったのでしょうね。そしてあなたは、私があなたを突き落としてから得た18年間の人生をこうして全て打ち壊しました。もう私には愛した夫も娘もいません。そして私には名誉もなく、こうして人殺し呼ばわりされて、いいえ、本当に人殺しですものね。ええ、そうです。あなたの目論見通り、私は今や人殺しとみなされています。どうですか？復讐にはこれで十分ですか？夫と娘を殺され、人殺しの汚名を着せられ、こうして生き恥をかかされる私を見て、あなたは満足ですか？ええ、さぞや満足でしょうね。私、家族も名誉も全て奪い去ったのですから。
この後に及んでまだ濡れ衣だと言い張るんですか。まったくあなたは本当に往生際の悪い。
聞こえていますか。19年前の呪われた赤ん坊、これで満足ですか。あなたは私から全てを奪いました。まだ何か足りないというのですか。私は許した。
ダメだな。
バトラさん、何か言いました？
I usually am very excited when he says that, but now I have no idea what to what to believe. Plus he said it with that voice.
全然ダメだぜ。
Oh god. I'm stressed.
バトラ君。
ああ、ダメだな。全然ダメだぜ。
Of course. What was I even afraid of? Of course they were just gonna cut it. Man, this text is so large, I can't even really follow. Seku. All the goats. All the goats. Yeah. Yeah, heartbreaking. Huh? I had theorized? What had I theorized? I don't believe I ever put a proper theory in place. I just had like scraps of little bits here and there. It's time. Oh lord. Ah, that she had done it. Ah, okay. I mean, that wasn't necessarily a full theory of it, but yeah, that was my first impression in that thing. That unfortunately, most likely, that happened. Sorry. Main menu does that. The party is gonna be fire. Oh my god. Natsuhi is probably the most sympathetic adult character for most readers, but she also has what seems like the heaviest sin among them. I don't know. I wouldn't turn this into a sin measuring contest. I think they all have things that cast shadows on their lives and their hearts. All of them. So yeah, it feels bad. I mean, I don't know about exactly how she describes it, right? Maybe there were things here and there that her mind warped. It's, at the end of the day, a traumatic event, and I think we discussed this the first time this came up, that especially if it was something that happened very quickly over the span of just a few days or something, brains do this where they tuck away stuff like that, and then you feel like, oh, that must have been just a bad dream. It's highly likely for that to be there and for her to remember things a little bit more fragmented and things and stuff. But just taking a step to the side and looking at it, trying to piece together or maybe fill in the gaps myself, the simplest thing was that she probably did do it. Yeah. It's sad, but yeah, I was braced for it already, so. Kitty is the best adult character. She does have quite a bunch of stellar moments. I will give her that. Like, it could be big could that she didn't actually push the serum, but she did actually wish for the child's death, which is still very bad, of course. Yes. The thing is, the coincidence of her being filled with those thoughts and this happening, if you try to explain it away by, oh, the witch did it, or it was just an accident and these things just happened to align, that's where I kind of like, But what is the simplest and most likely one? Yeah, that's more or less where my mind is going. Desolate with the copium. Kirya's math skills are unparalleled indeed. Right, okay. So I guess tea party, yeah. Yeah, she did, yeah. We're back here. Oh.
Erika, Doranor.
Mm-hmm.
はい、我が主。お呼びですか？
あなたたちは引き続きこのかけらにとどまり、残る第1から第4のゲームすべてを解明しなさい。もはや魔女幻想を主張する哀れなかりそめ魔女は存在しない。
The pain in my voice. Can you blame me? We haven't made very good memories in this place. Delnor can't wait to get to McDonald's. What?
抜き出しの真実を徹底的に暴いてやりなさい。
お任せを、我が主。
Is them staying in this fragment meaning that we won't see them in the next episodes? No. No, I wouldn't be so lucky to get rid of Erika, no. Probably not. And I would love to see Delano more, so...
このフルドエリカに解けぬ謎はありません。
当然よ。
I believe you, Viber. It's okay. Ah, she's a kid. She needs her Happy Meal. Aww. Oh, I'm getting a mental image of Delano being happy with the little toy that you get in the Happy Meals. Oh, that's so cute.
それでこそ私の駒、私の分身だわ。
Rain Castle were a massive and horrible smile, which Erika shared. Ah, there's something in Discord. Okay. Sorry, I had it minimized. I didn't see the notifications. Oh my god, so much fan art. Aww. Oh, that's so cute. And is that a toy, Beatrice? It's a toy minion. Okay, Beatrice. Nice, nice. The mental image is now an actual one. Yeah, perfect. I'm glad other people who actually have skills to manifest their mental images had this mental image way before me, and now I can enjoy it. Thank you, thank you. Alright. Right. Brancaso wore a massive and horrible smile, which Erika shared, of course. Beatrice minion is the stuff of nightmares, but otherwise it's I find it super funny. I love the minions. They can crack me up any time of day. I can be like the saddest blob of a person, and then I watch a little bit of like banana and some of the other things, and I'm laughing my ass off because they just crack me up. I love them. They're so precious. Yes, right? Beatrice's witch illusions would disappear, and the results of all of the previous games would be painted over. It had been crushed in every way possible, and only the naked truth remained. To Erika, such a weak truth might as well have been fish on a chopping board. Now that's a mental image I don't want to have. The truth as fish on a cutting.
Natsuhi の犯行とそのイレギュラーで説明可能です。もはやベアトリーチェなる魔女の犯行とは二度と語らせません。直ちに編纂に入り、極上の物語を献上してご覧に入れます。
ベアトの魔女伝説はひとかけらも残してはダメよ。使用人たちの間の噂、不可解な出来事をそうであるかのように語る空気、金蔵の幻想と連動した魔女幻想、すべて完全に処分しなさい。
無論です。直ちに着手いたします。現在、家具たちの身柄を拘束。よりしろの特定を急いでいます。
Oh my god. The 7 sisters of Purgatory had already been taken into custody. Those noisy sisters who had served Beato now faced nothing but denial. Oh god. Oh lord. Oh, I'm getting a headache. Just thinking about that. Oh lord. I mean, I think one of the actual useful things that we've read in the past, how long has it been? An hour and a little bit. The most interesting thing to read and experience was to kind of find ourselves on the other side of a red truth that was spun in such a way that it cornered Natsuhi, even though we knew that it wasn't true, but it was written again in that kind of roundabout language, and kind of the steps that they took to further and further corner Natsuhi and to leave no other option than their absolutely demented tale of Natsuhi ensnaring Kinzo. Oh my god. Okay, I don't want to go back there. But yeah, like you get the prime example of how that type of phrasing actually corresponds to just sand in your eyes, basically, to just confuse you, because they weren't actually saying anything. Like, it was a red truth that said nothing. It just served to make you think that it's saying something else, basically. Yeah. I'll write a story about George being the culprit. I mean, it is fair, as has already been established, to explore how any of the characters could and at the same time could not have been the culprit. Like, you have to think about it with these two sides in hand and paying attention to both. So sure, if you want to go crazy on George, have fun. There are people like that in the fandom that create 10-hour videos to try pinning down all the murders on a certain character. And you are here familiar with the manifesto? Alright. I don't know what it is, of course. I know absolutely nothing. I am completely sheltered and secluded from the Umineko community. Yeah, that's interesting that people do that. I mean, if you derive fun out of trying to piece together these things, you have just hundreds of hours at the very least ahead of you that you can you know, dedicate to have fun with stuff like that. Umineko is kind of like a springboard for endeavors like that. I can see that. All of my respect for the people who have that kind of patience. Like, holy heck. All right. There's an infamous manifesto with batshit insane theory, regarding Umineko. It's hundreds of pages and it makes generally no sense, no matter how much the person insists on it. Okay. Right, someone was passionate enough to write hundreds of pages. Wow, okay. Right. What sort of fantasy were they based upon which allowed them to manifest? Everything would be exposed and denied.
アイゼルネ・ヨングフラウはすでに調査を開始しております。最新の調査結果では1960年代にニューヨーク近隣で製造された可能性が濃厚です。
1960s?
すでに補佐官が現地入りしております。
1960年代煉獄の7姉妹はメイドイン USA?
No. Oh, my bad. Yeah. The vessels for the sisters, yeah.
ソロモン王に連なる千年の魔女に仕える家具とか威張っておきながらとんだまがいものじゃない。何者なの？
報告によればオカルトマニアの富豪たちにイミテーションを売りつけて高額詐欺を働く集団があるとか。
騙された富豪が同様に曰く月を語って転売するためマリア間で偽られ神格化された可能性があると裏付けと詳細特定を急がせています。
その界隈では後宮金蔵はどんなパチモノにも大金を払う乗客だったとか。
それが煉獄の7姉妹の正体？おかしいわ。ベアとの魔女幻想らしいとんだまがいものだわ。
7つの大罪を語る分際でイミテーションの見やり物風情だったわけです。まあ私も初めて見た時からいかがわしい見やり物屋で売ってる文鎮に過ぎないとは思ってたわけですが。
文鎮その真実はもう7姉妹には突きつけた？
いいえ、まだです。
あいつらまだ自分たちは1000年以上前に。
We have come such a long way because I'm feeling really bad for the sisters right now. Remember how I really did not like them at all in the beginning? Okay. I guess after also the Valentine story, yeah. Something in my heart just opened the tiny little door. Everyone looks good compared to these two. They are the best paperweights. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. It's quite something that they reveal. Sorry. That they really just reveal it right here, and it's such a mean-spirited way. I mean, everything coming from their direction is mean-spirited, to say the least. That's such a euphemism for it. I'm not even surprised. Yeah. Textbook Umineko experience, yeah, probably. It's cruel in a different way, yeah, it is.
偉大なる魔術師によって生み出されたとか本気で信じてやがります。早く完璧な証拠と真実を突きつけ、自分たちが原価30ドルにも満たない文人風情であることを思う。
その時どんな顔を見せて絶望するのかしら。
Implying that something needs to necessarily have monetary value to actually have value. I wouldn't agree with that necessarily. Ever since Sakutaro, I had the suspicion back then that the vessels are probably not that impressive, but still. Yeah.
楽しみだわ。その際には私を呼びなさい。最高の紅茶と梅干しを持って鑑賞に来るわ。
Exactly. That's exactly it, Dism. Beto's witch illusions had already been seen through, and it had been proven that every one of them was simply the result of a human fantasy. What kind of fantasies created them, and what was their basis? The illusions would be confronted with this perfectly proven truth, and at the time they would disperse like smoke and be completely annihilated. This was called execution.
処刑は見せ物ではありません。原則非公開です。
元老院議員であらせられる大ベルンカステル教による大本院が職務を適正に執行しているかの視察です。異端審問官風情が拒否する気ですか？
ええ、そうよ。ドラノールたちが職務を正規の手順で遂行するかどうか、私は元老院を代表して視察するだけよ。
That's exactly what it is.
ワルギリア、ロノウェ、ガープたちも現在拘束へ向けて準備中です。シエスタ姉妹近衛隊が捜索に当たっています。無論その後にベアトリーチェに関わった3人についても拘束、処刑します。
So you're using them. Fantastic. Yeah, pretty much. Burn is like, I am Burn Castle, you're gonna do whatever I say. Okay.
ドラノール、シエスタ姉妹の正体は？
高い確率で犯行に用いた凶器がより代ではないかと推定されます。ガートルード上級補佐官が専従チームを結成、全件を調査中です。
シエスタ姉妹の所定も楽しみです。一人ずつまとめて一度に。
茶葉の缶を中身全部ポットに入れるバカはいないわ。一さじずつゆっくり味わわなくちゃ。
Oh my god, are you gonna spoil the experience of tea to me now too? Just Jesus Christ. I guess so, yeah, you're right, those taters. Regarding the Chiesters, weapons being vessels seems obvious, but why bunnies? I would hope there are not actual bunnies. But at the same time, you could argue, why do they have to all wear those kinds of outfits? It's all for the visual pleasure of the target audience, which I don't know that I like fit the profile, but okay. All of the furniture have this very specific kind of design in the bottom half of their costumes, okay? They all follow the same trend, even if there are differences there. Don't make me spell it out. We all know what I'm talking about. They don't have to wear that, but they do. So then, why are they bunnies? I don't know. Forgive me, she's fetish. Super Paper, I had to approve your comment because Automod is, yeah. Maybe they are literal gun bunnies, gun culture term for women who pose with firearms with scantily clad clothing. Oh, really? I was not familiar with that term. I had no idea that existed. But yes, were something peculiar even for furniture. Okay. Yeah, right. I guess their uniform is a bit different. I choose to ignore the bottom half. It's horrible. I mean, it's not necessarily horrible. I can understand it contributing to sex appeal, but I don't know. I very often feel uncomfortable when I catch glimpses of it. It's like, oh, how would one wear that? How would that feel? That just looks uncomfortable. Right. I don't know what you're hinting at. I guess I will examine it in my own time. Right. Back to ruining the experience of tea. Thank you, Burn.
処刑は連日行いましょう。家具たちに、魔女たちに。一人ずつ連日の処刑賞を必ずやお届けします。
素敵じゃない。何しろずいぶんの人数がいるからね。2週間くらいはたっぷり楽しめそうじゃない。誰から処刑するか、その順序を彼らに決めさせるとか。処刑概念についても最高の提案をするように。古今東西のあらゆる処刑を毎日楽しみたいわ。
I didn't really perceive her as an ally necessarily. Like, it was hinted in that direction, but I always thought of it as us having simply a common end goal. The goal being to win the game and get the fuck out of here. Now, the way she was going at it by her own methods was whatever. I guess now she's showing us the just plethora of colors that make Burn Castle and who she really is. But I don't know if I necessarily feel betrayed by her, because it was established from the beginning that she was also a very fickle witch, like the others. And she's just being witch-like. So, okay. I'll take it. What can I say? Betty got us with the wine. Oh god, don't remind me. Now Burn is going to get us with the tea. I have also, like, I have a really big mug that was filled to the brim with tea at the beginning of the stream, and I keep sipping it, and then she keeps making comments like that, and I'm like, oh god. No. Let me enjoy my tea. Okay, Weber, right. It's, an individual perception that it's probably, like, it has different flavors for each of us, and that's alright. Right. Okay, let's get over this. Jesus Christ.
お任せを、我が主。必ずや魅力的な処刑賞を準備いたします。
I don't know if Delano will like that.
最低でも 四つ咲き系くらいにはなさいよ。
無論です。
Oh, don't say that. I use that a lot and I mean it in a cute way. They're just... They're bastardizing it. It's not fair to associate them with that. But didn't feel comfy letting loose when Beato was still not commode. Oh yeah, Iris Moth, I don't want to remember that. Oh lordy lord. As much as I don't like Rosa, that was so painful. Oof.
ヨーロッパ各国からアジア各国まで、東西のあらゆる王国が採用した国王への反逆罪にのみ適用される各国最高の処刑を列挙してご覧に入れます。
私からも処刑方法を提案したいわ。それに悩むことは寝苦しい夜の最高の清涼剤だからアイデアを練って今度手紙で送るわ。
かしこまりました、我が主。ではベルンカステル式はその最後のフィナーレに。すべての幻想を打ち破り、ベアトの魔法体系を完全に打破したベアトリーチェの処刑にて、我が主の望まれる最高の処刑を。
ありがとう、エリカ。あなたのおかげで私は病の辛さを当分の間忘れることができそうだわ。あなたは最高だわ。私の駒、私の分身。そしてもったいないお言葉です、我が主。
Burning Castle just low-key patting her own self on the back.
エリカ、あなたに栄誉と褒美を与えるわ。ベアトの最大の象徴であるあの大広間の肖像が。
Oh no, what? Oh no, oh no. Are we gonna have an Erika portrait?
あれを外して叩き割り、その薪にてケーキを焼いて食べなさい。
Bake cake over that fire and eat it. What?
そして残った額縁に
Oh god, no, 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 no. It is, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Why? Why?
ありがとうございます。
And that chair is just bursting apart. Perfect for Erika. Jesus Christ.
最高の栄誉です。
ベアトリーチェの名前と痕跡のすべての抹殺、抹消。
The drawing itself is good. It looks nice. But no. No, no thank you. I don't want to see that anymore. Leave me alone.
それがすべて終わるまでの間、あなたにこの閉じられた六軒島の主となることを命じるわ。奇跡の魔女ベルンカステルの名において、その日まであなたに魔女の位を与えることを宣言するわ。これよりあなたは真実の魔女エリカを名乗りなさい。
真実の
Oh god. You can't see my face, but you're probably imagining it. Oh god, no, 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 no. Oh god.
ありがとうございます、我が主。
Is her costume gonna change into something more witch-like?
この栄誉に恥じぬ一層の働きを誓います。
Yeah, yeah. A truth, that's the key point. My beloved golden cheese. Yeah, yeah. Oh lord, even though she was nothing more than a piece, she was being granted the honor of calling herself a witch like her master, if only for a brief stretch of time. Erika was so moved at having her hard work acknowledged in this greatest form that she trembled. Oh,
ドラ
precious
ノー
her.
ルは引き続きエリカを補佐し、その進捗を私に報告しなさい。
良いです。
ところで、ラムダはどこ？
Yeah, I guess so, Iris Mo.
あちらにおられます。
From the guest seating on the second floor, she pointed downwards. Lambda Delta could be seen beneath Battler, who hung there dead, run through by the red long sword. Battler! Erika's bizarre adventures. Super paper.
後ろ宮バトラか。面白い男だったわ。そしてもっと面白くなれたかもしれないのに。残念ね。
見事な死に様じゃない。エリカ、このバトラの亡骸は屋敷の大広間に飾るといいわ。
Why?
次に私がこのかけらに訪れるときは、私をその前で迎えなさい。
かしこまりました。我が主。愚かなる男の姿を永遠に主の勝利の記念碑といたします。
それは素敵ね。洒落てるわ。漆喰で塗り固めて美しい純白の石像にするといい。可愛らしくデコなんかもしてくれちゃったら最高ね。
Oh, sorry. Wrong button.
はい、ラムダデルタ卿。ご期待に添えるよう努力します。
おめでとう、魔女就任。
I don't think Lambda is much of a help, Super Paper. She's just an enabler.
一時的なものであれ。私はあなたを友人として迎えるわ。
Erika was so overcome with emotion that tears came to her eyes. Because no greater pleasure exists for a piece than having its efforts acknowledged by its master.
最後にはベアとも剥製にしてやりたいわ。そして大広間に高々と飾ってやるの。
白樺ご飯？
人間狩りの伯爵よ。
私魔女じゃなかった頃にあれを読んで、永遠の命を得た人間ってどうしてここまで残忍になれるんだろうって
And here we are.
不思議に思ったことがあるわ。
I guess there's one.
あの時の私は正直共感できなかった。
魔女になって1000年を生きてよくわかるわ。あれの筆者は本当の意味で私たちの残酷さをよく理解していたのよ。次
はどこへ行く？どうせ旅立ちはお互い背中を向けてでしょ？
あなたに退屈をしたくないからよ。
ありがとう、ベルン。でも私はきっと100を数えたらまたあなたを探し始めるわよ。
退屈させない子ね。だから好きよ。愛してるわ。またどこかで会いましょう。もっとも100年先か1000年先か未来永劫再会しないかもわからないけれど。
You really think you're getting out of this? Just like Lambda's gonna wave you goodbye and everything's chill?
大丈夫よ。愛し合う二人にかけらの海は狭いわ。
第三の男？
天井桟敷だってば。
あの星空のように輝く無数のかけらを一つ砕くたびに一晩は退屈の毒から解放されると分かったら、お前だって星の数を数えてみたくなる。
I have no idea what I'm reading. What? Maybe these are references to or are connected to them and that's why I don't get it. It's okay. The witches known as Voyagers travel across the countless glittering futures of possibility and gobble them up, trying to escape their illness called boredom for as long as they can. Oh, okay, I see. Thank you for the explanation, Dizzo. It helps a lot. At least to take a step back and be like, it's okay that I don't understand these. The tiny fragment created by the human known as Beatrice. The tiny fragment created by the human known as Beatrice had now been gobbled up by the two witches. And had lost its glitter. The two, who had earlier called themselves rivals in front of Beto, now stopped that charade and laughed together playfully.
Erika, 新しきこのかけらの支配者、あなたが真実を紡ぎ、この世界の終焉までの物語を描きなさい。次は第6のゲームだっけ？
はい、第6のゲームです。
エピソード6はなんてタイトルにするかあなたが決めなさい。もはやこの物語の紡ぎ手でありマスターであるのはあなたなのだから。
ありがとうございます。実はもう決めてあります。
あら、もうなの？なら聞かせてちょうだい。なんてタイトルなの？
はい、エピソード6。本当はじらしたいんですが、お教えします。
何よ、もったいぶらずに教えなさいよ。新米魔女のくせに先輩じらすとかってありえないわ。
エピソード6、チェックメイト・オブ・ザ・ゴールデンウィッチ。
Okay. Implying that the Golden Witch is getting checkmated or is checkmating someone else. Anyway. When are we talking about the knocking and letter scene? Do we have to? I personally don't have anything new to add. We already commented on a few things there. Almost there. Yeah. Here we are. I don't like it here. Why? Could we not? Oh. I'm sorry. Oh. I guess you can sense enough in my voice. In the cathedral devoid of people, a figure could be seen still staring up at the heavens, its chest pierced with the long red sword which pinned it in place to the ground. Why are we here, just to suffer? I know. Yeah. It was the figure of Battler. Ironically, it looked just like what he had done to Beto with blue wedges in the 4th game. Battler had died quite some time ago. No, in this place, the concept of death means nothing except that one has stopped thinking. Therefore, in a sense, Battler was not dead. After being defeated in a fight over the truth, he no longer had the strength to think of a way to resist. And so, he was dead. Delanor's massive longsword, which had been left in place of a tombstone, fastened Battler to the spot even after his death. This was being lit by a faint light seeping out of a high skylight. Quiet footsteps rang out across this still cathedral. I understand what you're trying to say. Don't stop thinking. You're only losing and dying, quote unquote, when you stop thinking. I get it. But this is hella hard, okay? Can I just have a moment to be with my emotions, please? Yeah. From the darkness behind a pillar, a woman slowly stepped forwards. Oh god, not this song. It was Beatrice. Her eyes had no light in them and looked the same way they had for so long in the Golden Land, still muddied over with grey. Previously she couldn't even drink black tea properly without assistance, but now, though it was slow, and though there was no life in her eyes, she was surprisingly walking. And with slow, deliberate steps, she reached Battler, who was still dead and pierced. Thank you for reminding me. It's not like I read it like 2 lines ago. No, I had to really drive it in there. Yeah. Then, slowly, she touched him. She tugged on his sleeve. Oh, like a kitten. Hello, pay attention to me. This is your favorite part of the episode? The question mark bit? Interesting. However, Battler showed no reaction. When she realized that it wasn't sleep, but death, the witch with the forlorn gaze drooped her head even lower. Then she quietly whispered, oh no, okay. Okay, I'm bracing, I'm standing up, okay. Oh. Beto softly touched Battler. Then she pressed her forehead against Battler's chest. There was no longer any heartbeat. It wasn't just because he had surrendered. It was because the witches had banished him from the game board. So now, Battler would never return. Don't do that to me. I have been hanging in there for all of these battlerless dry runs. Don't do that. I need her to come back. So now, the Golden Witch Beatrice had no more reason to exist.
ありがとう、嘘つき。さよなら。そして、ごめんね。
Okay. Then, the Golden Witch, her task completed, scattered as a spray of gold. Give me a second though. So Battler would never return, and now the Golden Witch Beatrice had no more reason to exist. Battler is, at the very least, part of her reason to exist. Interesting. Anyway, in the Golden Land, the grey rain gently continued to fall. Don't do that to me. I want to believe that in some form or another we're gonna have battlers Zen Dame dying around, because I can't without it. There was a faint aroma of good black tea. Beto stared blankly at the surface of the tea. Whatever the fuck that is, I don't know. They're speaking in riddles all the time. There was Virgilia continuing her knitting, along with me and Delanor talking to each other. Why is this all in black and white? What does that mean? It's a flashback. Okay, this is a flashback. A flashback to a memory of battlers which Delanor's sword must have given him as it pierced him. A flashback of that time Delanor had come to visit the tea party in the Golden Land. Delanor, I thought she was a ruthless killer doll without a heart. But maybe she actually is pretty approachable. Though, of course, neither of us will show any mercy when fighting on the game board. For a while we gazed at the rain-drenched rose garden, as we quietly enjoyed our tea.
しかし、恐ろしいもんだな、お前の戦い方は。ノックス10回だったっけか？ミステリーのお約束ってやつだろ？
はい。我が父が考案した戒律です。
隠し扉は存在してはならない。ノックス第3条だっけか？だから探偵は隠し扉を探す必要さえないわけだ。なかなかな暴論だな。
Berncastle talked about this. She said that even searching for hidden doors was a waste of time because they're forbidden by Nox's third commandment. It makes me want to argue back and say it's not so uncommon for a rich family's mansion to have a hidden door or two built into it. But apparently you can get away with that kind of rule in the mystery genre. As an aside, there exist many wonderful mysteries in which hidden doors appear, and where hidden doors are the theme. Though, of course, this is limited to novels which have the premise that hidden doors exist. Without that premise, hidden doors mustn't exist. So if that premise isn't there, there's no need to search for hidden doors. I'm getting a headache again. I think that's probably the essence of her ridiculous argument. I get the feeling that the detective trying to expose the truth and the illusion trying to mask it with fiction are getting blended together, leading to a bizarre form of argument similar to a devil's proof. Making a locked room murder seem to be accomplished by a witch with magic, that's fantasy. Exposing that it was a human's crime done with tricks, that's anti-fantasy. Investigating all possibilities to expose that those tricks are, what those tricks are, that's mystery. But claiming that possibilities with no hints supporting them are unworthy of investigation, that's also mystery. Hidden doors, by definition, are hidden in a way that there can't be any clues. But claiming that hidden doors therefore necessarily exist even if the detective can't find them, be anti-mystery? Oh my god, we are deconstructing all of the genres. Emergency Natsuhi pills needed. Good one, yeah. That's enough of that. This argument is too far of a digression from the riddles I'm actually supposed to be solving. My fight is very simple. I'm only fighting to explain that it was possible for a human to carry out these crimes which were supposedly carried out by a witch. This whole discussion about mystery and anti doesn't serve any purpose. So I can't bring myself to have any particular interest in the rules known as the Nox Decalogue.
Nox はお嫌いですか？
苦手だな。隠し扉の存在を調べもせずに全否定可能なんて。
Being meta about another meta moment, yes, it's just layers of meta upon meta here. We're drowning in it, I'm doing my best to navigate it.
悪魔の証明並みにうさんくせえな。ファンタジーの対極のはずなのに。なぜか同じ論法になっちまってる気がするぜ。 言い過ぎた。
Oh, pouting Delanor.
お前の親父が作ったんだもんな。
お気になさらずに戯れに過ぎないとおっしゃる方もいらっしゃいますので。
バトラ君には実戒はかなり傲慢なものに感じられるのでしょう。
正直なところを言えばな、隠し扉は存在してはいけないから調べる必要さえないなんて、頭のネジが落ちてないかどうか一緒に床を探してやるところです。
ではバトラ、その第3条をなかったことにしましょう。そうなったら密室ミステリーはどうなるでしょうか。
What if Nox's third commandment, hidden doors are forbidden, didn't
つま
exist?
り密室トリックのオチに隠し扉が OK になるってことか。
手がかりや伏線のある隠し扉ではありません。隠しなのですから、無論探偵にも発見できない隠し扉です。
バトラ君はよく悪魔の証明により発見できない X の存在を仮定して戦いますね。
Let's not go back to element X, please.
つまりはそういうことですよ。
最悪だな。密室ミステリーが読み物として破綻しちまう。
That was another way of saying that those kinds of stories would simply no longer work. Is it meant to be much longer than the 30-40 minutes that we still have ahead of us? No one would want to try solving the mystery in the first place if they knew the answer might just be an unforeseeable hidden door.
せめて隠し扉はありませんと保証してもらってからじゃないと推理する気も起きない。なるほど。ノックス第3条は必要だな。それがなけりゃ密室ミステリーは読み物にもなりゃしねえ。
推理する気も起きないとはつまりどういうことですか。
つまり読む気もしねえってことだな。
Ah, okay, okay.
そういうことです。人間は推理可能だという保証を得なければ思考さえできないか弱い生き物なのです。
Oh, Delanor. Savage. Okay. Alright, cool, okay. Then I'll just take it at my own pace and we see where we get. It's fine.
推理可能、すなわち頑張れば解けますよという励ましが必要なのです。
That might actually be true. It's the same with exercising. If you're told to run 10 laps around the campus, you can tough it out. But if you're made to run without even knowing how many laps it's going to be, you'll probably get tired out before you make it around 3 times. Poor Delanor, very decent person stuck with the worst bosses of all time. I mean... yeah. The same thing goes for thinking and reasoning. Depending on whether or not a problem is guaranteed to be solvable, the way we humans react to it changes completely.
推理小説で探偵が犯人が分かったと宣言するシーンがあるでしょ。あれはつまりそこまでの文章で手がかりは全て記したから、読者諸君どうぞ推理をしてくださいという合図なのですよ。
へえ、単なるお約束のセリフかと思ってたが、そんな意味があったんだな。
意地悪に言うと、探偵がそう宣言しない限り、どんなにミステリーを愛する推理自慢の読者であっても、推理をする気力は生じないということです。
過去のゲームにおけるあなたもそうではありませんでしたか。
Come to mention it, maybe that really was the case. My fight against Beato began in earnest starting with the second game, I think. When Beato threw locked room mysteries at me at first, I didn't seriously try to tackle them. After all, I knew nothing except that people had died in a locked room and the windows and doors were all locked from the inside. I had basically no hints, so I refused to debate, on the grounds that I couldn't fight because the lack of clues made reasoning impossible. After that, Beato sneered at me, didn't she? Asking whether I would repeat that over and over forever in an endless repetition of moves. At that time, Beato said this.
貴様ら無能どもがいつも嘆いてみせる思考停止の理由、情報不足。そして、それに対し情報を与えると、今度はその情報の真偽を疑う根拠否定。便利よな。無能を棚上げする、実に小気味よい言葉よ。
Then she said she'd give me reliable information that couldn't be denied, and created the rule called the Red Truth. Yeah. Not in good faith, though. The Red Truth is not used in good faith, which is the trouble with it. But anyway, only after Beato had done all that for me did the curtain finally rise on my battle with her.
俺はベアトにこの物語は挑めば解けるという保証をもらって初めて同じ土俵に上がったというわけか。
ベアトリーチェ、不思議な方です。謎こそが魔女の住まう狭間なのに、自らその謎を暴くことのできる赤き真実をあなたに与え始めたのですね。
You could say that the red truth is a hint Beato gives me so that I'll agree to compete in this war of reasoning. It's a carrot. Being given a hint is like she's saying, go on, try solving it. It is possible. An enigma which is guaranteed to be solvable can't be called a true enigma.
これではまるでベアト自身が自分は本当は魔女じゃないって自分で認めてるようなものじゃないか。
Is she?
おやおや、確かにそうなりますね。本当におかしな子です。
Beato gave no answer. With grey eyes, she did nothing but blankly gaze at the steam rising from her black tea.
我が父は思考する力に杖を与えるために実戒を生み出したのです。決して物事を傲慢に決めつけるためではありません。
思考する力に杖。
そうです。ノックス第8条、提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。これは手がかりなしに当て推量で推理をしてはいけないという意味だけではありません。
逆に言えば、出題者は解決のための手がかりを必ず提示しなければならないということです。
つまり実戒に従うなら全ての謎には必ずヒントがあり、よって必ず解決は可能だと保証されていることになるわけか。
I see, so this is what she means by a crutch for the power of thinking. If you can believe that it's solvable, you start feeling the desire to have a go at those riddles. If you're capable of believing that hints do exist, you get fired up about rereading the story to search for them. Anybody feeling called out?
確かに推理しようとする人間にとって勇気を与える力はあるかもしれないな。
Flip the chessboard around. Yes, flip it, flip, 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 flip. Rikishi meta moment too, basically saying you read the question, you read the question arcs, you have all you need to solve this. Yeah, exactly. It's so easy to say. Yeah.
ノックス実戒はミステリーの出題者に課す制限と思われがちですが、読み手にとっても大切なものなのです。
I feel like it's a series of restrictions imposed onto those who craft mysteries. But okay.
実戒を杖とすることで推理する勇気と必ず隠されているに違いない手がかりを求めて、
Aww. That's very sweet.
何度も物語を読み返す気力を授かるのです。
硬くて開かない。ジャム瓶の蓋みたいだな。母さんがよく言ってたぜ。開かないと思ってるといくら頑張っても開かないって。スポーツにもそういうのあるよな。必ず自分は成し遂げられるという強いイメージがあるのとないのでは記録に大きく差が出るというし。
In that case, the Nox Decalogue isn't really a set of arrogant and strict restrictions. You can also see it as a way to encourage readers who are trying to solve the mystery by telling them to give it their all since it's definitely solvable.
面白い解釈だ。しかし、世の中の推理小説すべてが必ず実戒を守ってるわけでもないと聞いたぜ。そういう作品にぶち当たった時、騙されたってことにはならないのかよ。
実戒もまた解釈の一つに過ぎず、全てのミステリーに適用できるものではありません。父の原理主義者の方々は実戒を破った作品を激しく糾弾される方もいらっしゃるようですが。
There's no end of arguments like this in the mystery world. Is this or that famous detective novel a fair mystery? In other words, one that follows Nox's 10 Commandments. That sort of argument is already an eternal theme for the mystery world. That must be exhausting. In fact, in mystery discussions, arguments like these sometimes become more heated than talk about the actual solutions. Oh no!
そりゃ糾弾したくもなるだろうな。実戒に従い解けると信じて挑んで、実は解けるようにできてませんでしたってオチだったらさぞや悔しくて仕方ないだろうぜ。
I guess the meta question here is, what kind of mystery is Umineko? Is it following it or not? Or by a certain interpretation? That's right. In fighting with the Decalogue, there's just one thing you want guaranteed from the beginning. And that is the guarantee that a detective novel will adhere to the Decalogue. If a work labels itself as an orthodox mystery, then you have nothing to worry about. However, the mystery genre contains many unorthodox subgenres within it. Does that mean that trying to use reasoning in an unorthodox detective novel is a complete waste of time?
それはそれで傲慢な気もするな。
はい。私も父の実戒をそのような傲慢の武器にされるのは非常に悲しいことです。
Don't be sad,
お前は実戒を武器にさっきベアトと戦ったわけだが、それはつまりこのベアトのゲームの世界がノックス実戒にのっとっているという証なのか。
I feel like what happened in this episode was how do I put it? Burns' side with Erika and Delanor and the whole gang. They were trying to pinpoint, or I mean, it's hard to say it now because the word truth means nothing. But let's say solution, right? To navigate the situation and find a solution that would follow the Decalogue. That was their approach because they could use it to their advantage to completely cut down certain lines of reasoning as being just impossible and simplify things for themselves, I guess, in the process. Which is not necessarily a wrong thing, but that doesn't necessarily lead to the conclusion that the mysteries here must follow the Decalogue, only that they created this framework around their reasoning that we will follow it no matter what. And if there is a solution to these, we want it to be one that follows the Decalogue. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway. When I asked that, there was a strange silence. Virgilia, Delanor, and of course Beato all remained silent for a while. Almost as though my question had touched at the core of something.
それは 私の口からは言えません。
どうして？
これはこの子の作ったゲームです。
Yeah, yeah, exactly, Lord Wu. That's what they eventually did.
あなたと勝敗を決めるためのゲーム。この子はそれをミステリーとファンタジーの対決のように呼んでいました。しかし残念ながら本格推理とは一言も言っていません。すなわち実界にのっとっているという保証はないという
And
こと
where
です。
does that leave you? And where does that leave people like me who feel incredibly overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of information? I still don't know.
しかし同時にミス・ベアトリーチェはあなたとの勝負のゲームだともおっしゃっています。
I will. Oh god. My key moment? Why is it mine?
それはすなわちあなたにも勝利する余地があるということ。
すなわち推理は可能だって、そう。
My key moment. I have no idea what that means.
この子に言わせればおそらく推理は可能となるのでしょう。しかしこの子とバトラ君が送り手と受け手の関係であるように二人は異なる存在です。ベアトにとって推理可能なつもりで出題したものがあなたにとっても推理可能なものなのかは別の問題です。
For example, let's say we pose a simple riddle that any Japanese person would be familiar with. However, if the person we're telling this riddle to is a foreigner with a Japanese English dictionary in their hand... Oh my god. The meta is so strong here. Okay. It might be almost impossible to solve. In other words, it's possible to have a one-sided solvable problem, which may be easy for the questioner but extremely difficult for the person trying to solve it. By the way, do you know of the foreign riddle? Why do dragons sleep all day? Alright. The answer is because they fight nights. Okay. It's a riddle from the English realm, so it might be a little tough for a Japanese person.
だからこそ私はこの物語がバトラ君に絶対に解けるものだと約束することができません。しかしこれだけは約束できます。赤き真実でそれを保証します。
I do. They crack me up. Oh no. What are you gonna guarantee, Virgilia?
ベアとはあなたに解いてほしいと願って解けるようにこのゲームをこの物語の謎を生み出しました。それだけは私が赤き真実で保証します。
It was the one guarantee that all those who try to use reasoning desire.
その答えが我が父の実戒にのっとり導き出せるものかは分かりません。しかしバトラが悩み苦しみ推理の指針を求めるときにもしも思い出したなら我が実戒も試してみてください。再び挑む勇気とひょっとすると何か新しい発見を与えてくれるかもしれません。
心底行き詰まったらお前の戦い方も参考にしてみるぜ。いいのかよ、敵に塩を送っちまって。
お気になされずに手土産も持たずに訪れた茶会です。茶花の代わりとなったなら幸いです。それに私と再び相まみえたならそんな悠長なことを言っている暇はおそらくないでしょうから。
Oh, well, that's cool, Weber. Good job. Nox's Decalogue and Virgilia's Red Truth.
俺に解いてほしいと願って 解けるようにこのゲームの謎を生み出した。
In other words, Beto thinks I can solve it. Isn't that proof that it's possible to apply logic to this? Of course, that's from Beto's point of view, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that it will be possible for me to work it out. But compared to before now, when I didn't even know whether applying reasoning was possible or impossible, that one sentence might give me a great deal of courage and strength. At least it has the power to silence any negative thoughts about it just being useless anyway. Very cool, Bear.
推理できると先に相手に証明させなくては推理をしない。まるで奥手な若者の恋愛のようですね。
恋愛？
ええ、自分のことを愛してくれると相手が先に証明しない限り、自分も相手を愛したくないでしょ。
Both boys and girls want to hear someone say I love you to them first without being prompted. That's the dream. I feel that's overly simplified. It doesn't sound right, but okay. They don't want to love another person until they're sure that person will love them back. This part I do understand though. After all, there's nothing as painful as a one-sided love, and the emotional scars of a love that doesn't work out last a long time. Because they're afraid of that pain more than anything else. They want assurance that the other person will love them back.
なるほど。推理小説における作家と読者の関係を面白く表現しています。
Yes, maybe you could liken detective novels to that. Both the writer and the reader first want the other party to tell them I will solve it, or it can't be solved. Until the writer is assured that readers will definitely attempt to solve their story, they don't want to write it. The same goes for the readers. Until they are assured that they will definitely be able to solve the story, if they try, they don't want to read it. I want to read it, but I don't want to necessarily try to solve it. Where do I fit? Anyway, because they don't want to write what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when no one reads it. Because they don't want to apply logic to what they consider a masterpiece and be hurt when they realize it was all useless.
その理論によると、まさに奥手な小学生、中学生の恋愛だな。
I'm the friend watching the drama. Alright.
気があるくせに打ち明ける勇気もなく相手の告白を待ってもじもじしたまま何の進展もなくひと夏が終わる。いやいや他の男とくっついちまうことだってあるぜ。俺の初恋もそんな感じだったさ。
Badly. Yeah, well, I do recognize that is my biggest flaw and that I'm not really providing you with very juicy material in that direction. I just, yeah, it is what it is. Along with these one-sided feelings they can't express, they lament the passage of a summer, which will never come again, and the days of their youth end. The writer who wouldn't write until he gained the support of readers goes for all eternity without releasing his maiden work. The reader who waited for the writer's rise to fame goes their whole life without knowing the joy of the mystery genre.
バトラ君、その卵が先か鶏が先かという奥手な恋愛はどの段階にまで進んだら相思相愛の関係になるのですか？
Yeah, I can see that. It's a cool scene. I guess Iris Moth. I guess I'm not that dissimilar to Erika in the end. I guess I don't have enough love. I don't know what to say.
それは積み重ねだろうな。 まず友達関係から始めてコミュニケーションを増やし、こいつはきっと俺のことが好きで俺もこいつのことが好きだと疑えなくなった段階を2人が共有できたところで、まあ多分自然と恋人関係に進めるんじゃないかと。唐突な告白で始まった関係は割と別れることも多いが、実は互いに告白したことがなく気づいたらずっと一緒にいたって連中の方が案外付き合いは長いってのが俺の今日までの印象だ。
I vibe with this. I vibe with this a lot. Because it was a thing that felt weird to me earlier when they were saying, everyone wants to just be suddenly confessed to and have someone just suddenly tell them they love them. That's the dream. I'm like, I don't know if I want anyone just coming in and be like, I love you. Okay. Suddenly there's a certain feeling of like, do I take responsibility for this person's feelings, or how do we go from here? This is like a lot very fast, you know. Yeah, I agree, like the gradual build-up of something, even if maybe for a while you don't realize that it's building up to that, but then one day you just suddenly see this person with different eyes. That's something that has already substance, right? It has a foundation to build on. So I vibe with that. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. I'm glad I'm not using my camera. Oh. They meant that if a boy loves a girl, then that boy wants the girl to confess first. I mean, regardless, boy or girl, I do understand what they're trying to say, that we are all scared of being vulnerable and putting our hearts in the hands of someone who has the ability to crush them. So that action of just opening up and being the first to make the step, regardless of what kind of step, it might be just like a tiny one, or it might be something that, okay, we have been interacting for a long time and like the feelings have reached a certain depth and stuff like that. But it's always scary to do that when you don't know how the other person is going to react. So I totally understand it from that direction. It's just that they kind of distilled it and simplified it in a way that, like, it was like, oh, everyone just wants to be suddenly confessed to. That's the dream, and that didn't sound quite right. That's all I was pointing out. Alright, so I totally understand that.
つまり、互いが相手を信じる信頼関係が生まれたらということですね。
かもな。意外だぜ。ミステリーってのは作家と読者のバトルだと思ってたんだが、実はそうじゃないのか。
ええ、互いが信頼し合った上でしか成立しない愛ある関係なのですよ。
じゃあこいつと俺の関係も殺し合いじゃなくて愛ある関係だって言うのかよ。
意地悪をし合う小学生同士の関係程度にしか見えませんがね。
Regina joked at us in a middle-aged woman sort of way. Still, though I'm not expecting friendship or a trusting relationship, we all remember episode 3, okay? Episode 3. Still wedged inside my heart. Anyway. I can accept her as a rival. Beto is fighting at full force, trying to make me acknowledge that she's a witch. And I'm responding to that and going all out, trying to deny that witches exist.
ミス・ベアトが正面から全力であなたにぶつかっている。どうしてあなたは言い切れ？
見てればわかるだろ。
あなたに全力で正面からぶつかっていると彼女が赤き真実で宣言したわけではありません。なのにあなたはそれを疑わないわけですか？赤き真実以外は何も信じないとおっしゃったあなたがです。
バトラ君の言うところのコミュニケーションが増え、互いの関係が疑えなくなった段階というものに違いないですね。
Virgilia and Eleanor giggled together. One guy, multiple women. The topic is love. Eleanor's face right now. Wait a sec, isn't this the worst formation for getting made fun of? I tried a couple of times to change the subject, and clumsily brought up more refined topics in an attempt to return the mood to something more suitable for a tea party in the rainy Golden Land. See, that's the kind of face that I approve with that kind of smile. That's not evil. It's cute. Right, but each time Virgilia saw right through me and laughed at me. Of course she did. Even amidst this, Beto kept looking downwards with those grey eyes, staring into her black tea. Does the scene help me a bit? I understand what it's trying to say. I guess it's one moment where it's sitting down with us, the readers, and articulating all of these things more or less at face value, I guess. That you should feel encouraged, that just like Beatrice made it so that Baldur could solve it in the story at a meta level, the author as well made it so that you, the reader, could solve it, and you should feel encouraged and keep trying and don't stop thinking and all of that. I get it. It's not that I was contradicting this in any way before this, and I wasn't of the mind that oh, this pesky author, what is all of this? Why do I have to contend with it? Blah blah blah. I wasn't anywhere in the vicinity of that train of thought. But as much encouragement as there is, and like as sweet as the scene is, that's just that doesn't like necessarily come here, swoop in, and give me extra detective skills or something. I'm still me, and I'm still a very bad fit for this from this perspective. So I'm just hanging in there, rolling with the story. So I guess that's all. A bit unsure before in the way that you can really trust the information you were given. Yeah, I mean, I was very concretely and specifically referring to the way the red truths are written. This whole episode was an incredibly good thought experiment of like where the red truth is coming from, what does it mean, and as I mentioned earlier, like how you can concoct it to actually go around things that you already know, but also kind of look like it's denying them, something along those lines. So yeah, I can see where he was trying to actually provide quote-unquote answers in this answer arc, which, okay, I get it, it's not necessarily what he was setting out to do, but I can see why it's put into this category, because it does give you at least the chance to contend with, okay, how exactly are we supposed to solve this, and how do these mechanisms that have been introduced work, right? So the whole episode is centered around making you thinking about it at the very minimum, and I have thought about it. Okay, I have noted a few things, I guess, but that doesn't mean that I suddenly am like super pumped and somehow I'm just spitting truths left and right, because I'm not. That's all. It's also fine to acknowledge the trusting relationship while taking a more passive observer role, if that's the way you enjoy the story. I do tend to do that, Super Paper. You never got it? Oh, Viper. As Delano implied towards Battler just now, if you only trust in the red truths, is it really that helpful? Wait, I was coming at it from the other angle, from the angle of like, I wasn't sure what the red truths wanted from me. Now I'm not going into the other extreme where I'm thinking that I'm supposed to fully trust them and only them. I think the core of the story should lie even beyond the red truths and beyond the mystery solving and the locked rooms. So I don't want to lose sight of that either. But ever since I started, everyone has been telling me just how important the mystery thing is, and that you gotta do it. And I'm like, here, like, okay. I'm so ill-equipped for this. It's cute looking at this like a relationship, actually. Yeah, it's cute. It's a they did use the whole romantic kind of thing, confession and so on, as an example of what they mean, as a more like concrete thing to spring from and land to the point. But I think the main point of it does not have anything to do with romantic love, and it's cool. Yeah, I dig it. Does that mean we're in Rukish's harem? What the heck? Yeah, I understand, Iris Mouth. The mystery is important to the characters in the story, not necessarily for the reader to solve. Well, that basically means that I am ill-equipped. It's okay, it's a reality. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, that's right. Virgilia and Delanor gave me so many hints back then, and yet I barely thought about them at all. Define think about them. Because I didn't necessarily forget about them, but like just how many things have accumulated since then as well. Ugh. It's way too late now, but let me think. Now that it's too late to change anything, and I have an endless amount of time on my hands, let me think. Oof. All right. One more time, let me think about the red truth Virgilia gave me. Is this approaching that moment where it's fine to put a pin in it? Because I don't want to start into something deep and just leave it on the surface. Yeah, okay. I was getting the feeling that, I cannot do 20 more minutes. That's a little bit overtime. Oh, the music is fire too. Gosh darn it. More. Oh. Okay. One more time, let me think about the red truth Virgilia gave me. and the crutch called the Decalogue that Delanor lent me. With the Red Truth, Virgilia guaranteed that at the very least Beato left enough room in this tale for me to achieve victory. Okay. That Red Truth guarantee will give me the power to start my heart beating once again. And there's the crutch of the Decalogue, which Delanor lent me. Even she began by warning me that the Decalogue isn't so almighty that it can solve all riddles. But even so, she kind of described it as a method to take on riddles. Let me try it. Even though there's no guarantee whether this tale is mystery or fantasy, let me believe that I'll definitely be able to solve it. That it is a solvable tale, a mystery, and let me make one last attempt. When I came to, I was suddenly in that strange tea room where I had often argued furiously with Beato across the table. Of course, Beato was nowhere to be found. It was just me, isolated and alone. That's alright. Even so, I won't stop thinking. Okay then, what were Nox's commandments again? I'm sure Delanor explained most of them when slamming me with them. Of course, even I recall them vaguely. What was the first one again?
謹んで申し上げる。ノックス第1条。犯人は物語当初の登場人物以外を禁ず。
When I muttered about what the first one was, Delanor's subordinate appeared as if in answer to my question. Without bothering with an unnecessarily hello, she told me nothing more or less than what I wanted to know.
そうだったな。第1条。犯人は物語の最初から登場している人物でなければならない。
Does that mean that by the end of the first game, the culprit must have appeared already? True, that is the most basic of basics in the mystery genre. A given. A given? Have I really kept that as a basic assumption? Kawabata the boat captain, Umineko saw. A moment of silence for secret 90th person. I mean, in all fairness, I also wasn't very much on board with this idea that there's like some mystical person that we don't know about. It unfortunately has to be someone that we do know about. With each new game, the number of people in this tale keeps increasing. That violates the closed circle rule. From that moment onwards, everything is screwed up. Did I give up on the inside, thinking that the true culprit or mastermind must not have shown up yet, and that reasoning was therefore useless? If I read this tale as a fantasy, new characters keep showing up to the point where even having demon kings or gods or divine creators appear wouldn't be strange at all. Even if the true mastermind first appeared in one of the last episodes, I just accept it as that kind of story. However, if I read it as a mystery and stick with that conviction, then there's no need to worry at all about anyone who shows up later, because Noxus first clearly ruled them out, stating that it's impossible for the culprit to be anyone who appears later on in the story. Of course, there's also what both Delanor and Virgilia said. There's no guarantee that this tale follows the rules of the Decalogue, so of course I can't deny the possibility that the culprit first appeared in the second game or later. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. You can, just to ease your burden, just for a moment entertain the idea that that is not possible and like restrict your framework to just this I guess avenue and go down it and see where you land. I guess that's what it's trying to say. And maybe while you do that, with this premise in mind, while you're exploring something else, having this premise already set makes you think of something that you wouldn't normally have thought of if you hadn't like frozen this idea in your head, I guess. I don't know. However, this is one way of thinking. This time, I'll forget about the Devil's Proof completely, and try to borrow the power of the Decalogue in my thinking. Oh, Bancho, you're so sweet. I am though, because while I can understand conceptually that would be a way to go about it, I cannot actually execute it and come up with something at the end of it. So, yeah. After all, I know by now that I'll never be able to reach the truth without looking from multiple perspectives. Yeah, that has been established too. Don't tunnel vision like Erika did. No, no, no. Yep, that's too, Bancho. That's too.
19人目の幻想なんて初めから必要ない。
Even the first of Nox's commandments denies the existence of an unknown person known as the witch from the very start. If I had followed that in the truest sense, I might not have suffered so miserably in the second game.
第2条。
慎んで申し上げたてまつるノックス第2条探偵方法に超自然能力の使用を禁ず。
Delanor's other subordinate appeared without a sound and gave me an answer to my question. That's right. A detective can't go around using magic.
そして、これがフェアな戦いであるならば、探偵と同様に犯人もまた魔法を使ってはならないということだよな。
慎んで申し上げる。解釈は自由と知りたまえ。
Yep. That's the thing.
だよな。ああ。俺の自由に解釈させてもらうぜ。
If this game is a fair battle between me and Beto, then because this tale is solvable, it features no elements which are impossible to explain with logic. In other words, magic cannot, must not, exist. When it does appear, I shouldn't suspect that the mystery element is breaking down, but I should instead question why it was shown and suspect the witnesses and observers. That's right, that was Beto's greatest weapon in the second game. Depictions of magic that have no place in the mystery. By showing me that, she forced me to think that this tale wasn't a mystery, and therefore that reasoning was impossible, and I surrendered. However, if I had believed unshakably that it was a mystery, it would have been completely obvious to doubt the witnesses who claimed to have seen those things. I mean, at this point, I think everyone has, at some point or another, witnessed magic. Also, at the end of the first game, it was revealed that this tale had been passed on to people in the future by means of a message bottle. Someone wrote down the incident in the form of a story. In other words, this entire story is a world which includes the personal opinions of an observer, namely the person who wrote that message in a bottle. I mean, I haven't sat down to actually put check marks on people, but I feel like if you take the accumulation of all of the episodes, like, there have been mystical, magical moments involving almost everyone. Okay. I'm reading, it's fine. In other words, the observer isn't God, it's a human. Yeah, I mean, of course. Therefore, there's no guarantee that the descriptions are truly impartial, of course not. By the end of the first game, it had already been made clear that the text violated the constant premise of mystery stories, that they must be told from a God's eye view. For that reason, it's possible to doubt not just the witnesses, but the observer as well. If I could have doubted this much, then no matter how many seemingly unsolvable displays of magic appeared, I wouldn't have had to blindly accept them and give up. However, that raises the question, is it even possible to solve a story written by an observer who isn't impartial? All reasoning ends here if you get obsessed with this. That's why it's so important for me to believe that Beato is trying to fight me through this tale. Because it's a fight, that means I've been given a chance of winning. And the fact that I've been given that must mean that reasoning is possible. This part is the hardest, unless I believe that the cruel witch took on the risk of losing to try and have a fair fight with me. I can't get past this part. Virgilia's right, it's just like love. If I can't believe that Beato is fighting me head on with everything she's got, I won't be able to reason any further than this. Alright, I'll admit it. Unless I admit that we're in love. Oh goodness. I won't be able to get any further. When Virgilia ran out of patience with the two of us, shy and incapable as we were of admitting that out loud, she gave me that red truth instead. That was the red truth saying Beato wanted me to solve the riddles of this game, so she created them to be solvable. Everyone is blushing. What the hell is that? It's like Sato-san in class A says he likes you. Like hearing a love confession via a friend. I really am pitiful. Reasoning is love. If we don't love each other, the logic won't open up. In that case, why can't we just say that we love each other? If you think you can solve it, just you try. You're incompetent, like hell you can solve it. Yeah, according to George Aniki. You call that sort of thing tsundara. That brutal witch is finally starting to look a bit cute. If I meet her again, I want to try saying, "You're such a tsundara." If I meet her again, somewhere.
Hoka no jikkai mo oshiote kure. Jun fudou de ii ze. Tsukae sou na yatsu o tanomu.
謹んで申し上げる。ノックス第8条提示されない手がかりでの解決を禁ず。
謹んで申し上げるノックス第6条探偵方法に偶然と第6巻の使用を禁ず。
It must not be solved with clues that aren't presented, and it must not be solved by luck. If this tale is made to be solvable, then we can read this the opposite way. In other words, clues must have been prepared so that the tale can be solved. And it has to have been made in a way that it can be solved without relying on luck. Unless you're counting the luck of remembering some vague, weird twist of phrase from 6 months ago. I would call that luck, with my memory. Yeah. If I can believe strongly that Beato is challenging me to a fair game where reasoning is possible, I can be sure of that. That must mean that Beato has already concealed clues, hints, and messages within the tale so far. This isn't from the Decalogue, but Erika or someone said this. There are 3 riddles to be exposed in the Mirror's mystery. One is the whodunit, who is the culprit. One is the howdunit, how did they commit a crime. One is the whydunit, why did they commit a crime. All of this means that clues related to these 3 riddles are already presented inside this tale. Yeah, that's a completely different experience, it's true. No, strictly speaking, it's like this. Beato scattered hints about because she wanted me to solve those 3 riddles. Though whether I'm capable of catching those hints or not is another matter. Even if you pose a riddle thinking it's easy, it might be difficult for the person trying to solve it. Yeah. Therefore, it's only natural for there to be a difference in how difficult each person thinks it is. That's why, as Beato went through each successive game, she watched me closely and tweaked the game as needed to get a good arrangement. When Beato realized that I'd completely surrendered in the second game because it was too hard, she secretly worried. If I surrendered and lost the will to fight, the game would no longer remain on an even footing. Therefore, in order to make me regain my will to fight, from the third game onwards, she set things up in a way that made it easier for me, giving me tips on how to fight and a few hints. The appearance of Virgilia and Ronoe was obviously so that they could help me. Oh no, please don't go back to the towers, okay? Also, though we still had the usual crazy magic shows, she gave me the metaphor of the brown tube trial as well as tips on how to fight back. I finally understood how to fight, and at the end of the fourth game, Beato managed to have the all-out showdown with me that she had probably wanted most of all. Then Beato acknowledged that my abilities had become full-fledged and entrusted me with her heart, entrusted me with explaining this tale, didn't she? In that case, it was really dumb of me to boycott most of the fifth game, just because I was so disgusted with those two witches. I wouldn't call it necessarily dumb. Could you have seen past that and like touched the essence that you're touching right now without having done it? I think it was a needed learning experience, and also those two just... God. Jesus. I hope it's just this episode. I will sniff some hopium that it's not gonna be another repeat of this, because I don't think I can handle it. Anyway, it doesn't matter who the game master is. All I need is to search for the truth in Bato's game. On the contrary, I should probably thank those two witches just a little for continuing the game in Bato's place now that she's gone and left everything to me. Of course, I doubt those evil witches were trying to do anything of the sort. Culprit, crime, motive. The answers, the hints to those three ultimate riddles must be scattered throughout the tale shown so far. It's probably a very faint light, like trying to find beads that have fallen onto a sandy beach. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're definitely there. However, they're so faint that unless I believe strongly, there's no way I'll be able to find them.
金家、謹んで申し上げる。
なんだ。
物語を遡りたまえ。今の汝には真実のか弱き光を見逃さぬ目が与えられていると知れ。
今こそ物語を。
推理可能とは信頼関係の先にあるものと知りたてまつれ。
ああ、知ってるぜ。
It really did, yeah, didn't it? Sure does.
いや、今ようやく気づいたかもしれない。
It's something that has been repeated over and over again throughout the tale, persistently
愛
so.
がなければ真実は見えない。
Slowly, the tea room dissolved into darkness. Then, as though I was slowly sinking into a pitch-black sea, I passed through the cracks of the long journey I'd taken with Beto, and kept on falling and falling. Let's stop here and reread. Yeah, see you in a lifetime. The line, here it comes, okay. Battle is really good like that, okay. Oh lord. It was a bizarre experience, like crossing over the boundary of sleep while still conscious. The several tales that had come before became faint bubbles, no, perhaps small shining fragments, that were scattered like stars in the pitch-black sky. I kept sinking on and on into that sea. the tales up until now, one after another. Virgilius guided Dante to Mount Purgatory and led him to Beatrice, the eternal lady who waited at the top. Therefore, the innermost depths lay not at the bottom, but at the peak of Mount Purgatory. The eternal lady had been waiting there for Dante the whole time. And then I knew. What did you know? Umineko solved, yes. I finally reached the truth. In the depths, no. At the peak of Mount Purgatory. Idiot. You really are an idiot. He woke from the sleep of death, and bit by bit his sense of pain came back to him. As Battler hung there, pierced by the long sword. Oh god, I'm shaking. His head still tilted towards the heavens. Life gradually returned to his face through an expression of suffering. Battler noticed. The whole time, Beto had been snuggling up against him, sleeping. And when he held her, he found that it was not Beto, but her crumbling remains. And because her form was as fragile as ash, when Battler tried to hold it, just like a sandcastle made on a beach, being washed away by a small wave, it fell apart and lost its form. At Battler's feet lay nothing but the ragged remnants of Beto's dress, and a pile of ash. No. Oh no. Is it the ring? Or what? Something sparkling. Okay, on top of the pile of ash, you could see something sparkling gold. It was the husk of a single. Oh, gold butterfly. Oh, the husk of a single gold butterfly which had been torn to bits. And so, Battler knew. I did reach the truth, but I wasn't able to do it while Beto still remained in this world. Compared to Lambda and Bern, I would have her back any day. Yeah, let's go back to bickering. I'm fine. Anything is better than this.
Beato, お前、本当にバカだろ。俺はようやくこのふざけた謎の真相にたどり着いたんだぞ。お前のお望み通りに。くじけずにとうとう最後までたどり着いたのに。なのにそれを待てずにくじけちまったんだよ。お前はあんなにも信じてたんだろう。俺が絶対に真実に至ってくれるって。ならどうしてそれを俺と一緒に信じて待て。永遠の拷問を強いていたのはお前じゃない。俺だ。俺がお前に過酷な拷問を強いた。そしてお前は最後まで抗い俺に訴え続け。そして俺はようやく今になってたどり着いたってのに、お前はもう待ってなくて手遅れになっちまったって。バカ野郎。どうしてお前が先に
It's my fault. I forced her to endure this torture. In fact, I'm amazed she endured for so long. She kept on appealing to me over and over and over again. And because I was so incompetent, I couldn't even begin to understand the truth. The vibe is totally different though, those staters. Yeah. My heart is also super tiny right now because Battler crying and like feeling the pain in his voice is just, oh, it reaches me. It hurts too. Kinzo 2.0, let's go. I
バカ野郎バカ野郎お前の謎はさひねりすぎなんだよどうしてもっと簡単に言えねえんだよバカ野郎
His scream of pain filled this cathedral of sorrow. The sad witch who wasn't able to let Battler know of the truth. The sad man who wasn't able to understand the witch's truth. Battler howled in anger and sadness for both of them. Who the heck knows this? Or I don't. It's similar to the scene of Enji. Oh, I saw something. What could she have possibly seen? The clock hung in the cathedral showed that it was midnight on October 5th, 1986. Time was up for everything. If you're going to create a riddle as hard as this and be so proud of it, don't go and set a goddamn time limit on it.
いや、わかるぜ。それほどのわずかな奇跡の中に、お前は祈ったんだよな。お前も。
You prayed for and bet on the power of a miracle. One so unlikely that it was totally impossible, less likely than finding a bead you've dropped on a sandy beach. And because you did, I have now arrived at that miracle. But your time didn't last long enough. If I had reached this point even a little sooner, if I could have seen the truth, even if it had been right before time was up, I might have been able to save you. Of course he will not tell us anything. This we have 3 more episodes ahead of us. I've learned my lesson. I'm not excited about anything. In terms of getting to see into Battler's head tonight, we're not gonna get that. I'm pretty convinced. That's fine though. But now, I've been run through pathetically, and I can't even hold what remains of you. I struggled, attempting to pull the long sword out, or at least touch her remains by stretching out my arms, but neither worked. At that time, I noticed a golden glint on the palm of my hand. It was a single wing from a gold butterfly. That small fragment of gold was the only piece of battle that I was permitted to touch. We all became seagull Spain. I guess, yeah. I cried with all my strength, gripped that fragment and pressed it against my head, apologizing. Why couldn't I reach the truth earlier? Then I pressed it to my chest, promising that even though things had come to this, I would never again lose the truth. All 3 other episodes are just happy days on Rokkenjima. Ooh, okay. When I pressed my hand against my chest, the sword piercing my chest cut my wrist and blood dribbled out. That blood spread throughout my fist, and it must have soaked that gold fragment with my red blood. It must have been the only way of telling her that I'd found the truth she had wanted to tell me. I clutched the wing of the gold butterfly with my freshly bleeding hand and pressed it against the red sword that impaled me. In this moment, Ushiromiya Battler knew and understood. He had arrived at the entirety of this tale. At that moment, it seemed as though a faint golden light leaked out of the gaps in his clenched fist. The two witches had their backs turned, and Erika was laughing at Battler's corpse.
本当に無様ですね、バトラさん。
We can stop here? Okay, thank you. This keeps going, eh? Either here or pull an all-nighter. Nope. No all-nighter, because I have an early morning, so that's not possible. Right, okay. We reached a good place to stop. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's alright. Thank you. I appreciate you all for joining and chatting and being all lively and cool and sweet as you always are. It's an honor and a privilege to share this little time slot with you and read this together. Yeah, I'm kind of shutting down because I've had a very long day. Oh, of course. I trust you when you tell me that I should or stop or keep going for a little bit. I put my fate in your hands. Yeah. Now be tortured until next stream as to what the hell Battler might have realized. Oh, I'm not tortured. It's okay. There was this moment, when was it? At the end of which episode was it? It was some scene between Beto and Kinzo, and like all the truth had been revealed, and then the episode ends, and then I'm like, wait, what? You can't do this to me. That was the one and only time that I was tortured for a brief moment, and I was like, yeah, this is how the entirety of this thing is gonna be. It's not gonna go down easily. It's gonna be difficult. Okay, I accept it. It is what it is. Episode 2? Okay. Yeah. It felt like it, but I wasn't sure. Oh, Bea. Yeah. That's very sweet. She meant with love. She's not in my walls. Hopefully not crawling on the outside wall like Erika and putting seals on my windows. No, none of that. It's all sweetness and fluff. Thank you, Bea. Yeah. All right. Thanks again for joining. Have a good night or end of your day wherever you are on this lovely planet. Hacked my webcam. Oh yeah, sure. My very unplugged webcam. Definitely. Yeah. Alrighty. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice weekend. Hidden bigness. Oh, yeah. It will be visible next time. The power of love from Bea will make it possible, and it will manifest next time visibly. Oh no. No. It's just a closed room when I stream or when I have work meetings. Otherwise, it's a very open room because I don't like the idea of closing the door. Yeah, sure. She's definitely doing that. Oh, that thing with Erika. Jesus Christ, I could have never come up with that. Like, that's so... It's ingenious and absolutely crazy at the same time. Anyway, I guess that describes the entire novel right there. Yeah, for now it's night. Thanks again for joining me. You are lovely, and I love you too, chat. I love you too. Talking about, making the first steps and putting your heart in the hand of another person and being vulnerable. There you go. Yeah, take care of yourselves. You are absolutely, absolutely lovely people, and I will see you again next Tuesday. Bye bye.